Some time ago, I did a video talking about a what-if scenario, or what might have been, concerning Doctor Who and having a first female Doctor in it. The ideas that I thought might have gone over better than what we ended up getting with season 11. And I touched on that they could have played to the strengths of Jodie's prior performances that were sort of darker and that sort of thing, and she could have been a more serious Doctor. And I dreamed up that I'd done others where I talked about the outfit that was too silly, but anyway, that was another video. But this one, where I dreamed up the scenario, I came up with a look for her and all this stuff, and depicted her still with Bill, but now Bill would of course been this Cyberman, which I thought would have been a pretty cool situation, especially where I thought it would be necessary to have a companion stay over who actually witnessed the regeneration and would understand what has happened. And you would have the Doctor deal with this new experience. Not for the entirety of the season, that would be too much, but for a couple of episodes. And then, the Doctor grows to accept this one and moves on. And meanwhile, an ongoing story of the Doctor trying to restore Bill, whether or not that could happen. But still, that would be the deal. And between the two of them, they would have an understanding because they've both been transformed into something entirely of what they were, and that sort of thing. So that I thought would have been a pretty nice thing, and it also acknowledges the transition and that this new experience, and probably would have gone over much easier for keeping and bringing in the audience and that sort of thing, rather than just kind of just ignoring it for whatever reason. I don't know why, but they just sort of did. There's a few lines here, and that's it. So anyway, I did these photoshops of it. And depicting Jodie in a different look and all that, and of course all the classic monsters and whatnot in the background. And so there she is with Bill in this other outfit that I just found because I thought it looked kind of hokey and stuff. And so there that was. And then there was another one where she has this sort of steampunk style look to her outfit. And again, Bill and all this stuff. And changed the logo. Now, Doctor Who logos, I'm not that good at. But I just did one pretty quickly for the image. And so there you go, a different possible look that Jodie could have had for a different and very different version of Doctor Who that they could have gone with. And at the very least, acknowledging the most obvious story to tell, rather than just ignore it completely. But that's what happened, and that's too bad. So then the idea occurred, well, there could have been other Doctors, and there could still be. And so I just went through different choice actors and people that have mentioned on fan sites and whatnot, saying, oh, I'd like to see that guy as a Doctor or whoever. And so I decided to just go ahead and Photoshop those. So first up, Charles Dance did him up in this image, and the background image is from the Peter Cushing movie. Not suggesting that he revived that version of the Doctor thing, but I just picked him and slapped him in here with a TARDIS and put in some dialects running around. And so there you have a version of Charles Dance. And of course, he would knock it out of the park. Now, a while back, I remember there was some rumors, of course they were false, that he might play the Master against Capaldi's Doctor. Of course, it didn't happen. And he could have knocked that out of the park as well. But since he's more widely known now as the main patriarch of the Lannisters in Game of Thrones, playing a villain, it might not be something you'd want to immediately do, and so casting him as the Doctor would have been an interesting thing. And he's a fantastic actor with a broad range, and but provided that the writers are any good, I would hate to see him wasted on something like what happened with Capaldi, who was another fantastic actor who was indeed wasted. So then the idea of changing things up with Doctor Who in a completely different look. And this was discussed, I think, among fans and whatnot. I don't know if it was ever seriously considered for Doctor Who or not, but here's Idris Elba as Doctor Who. Now, when it comes to the regeneration theories, which they don't even touch on in the show, which And again, there's another obvious story they should do, that we all have our mommy and daddy. So the idea that you keep regenerating and your body's completely restructured, sooner or later, female DNA would probably come forth, and you would have a female body at some point. But also, the idea of racial purity is just absolute nonsense. So somewhere in there, there's the DNA of different races, which is actually just different versions of humanity. So we can just say the same thing applies with people in Gallifrey. So sooner or later, yes, the Doctor could regenerate into a black man. So Idris Elba was my first choice here for that sort of thing. And here he is in a little outfit and walking on an alien planet in another really bad Doctor Who logo that I did. But nevertheless, he looks pretty cool there, you know, and that could have been a version of Doctor Who as well. Also, there were some people saying, hey, you know, it's not canon that the Doctor can change gender and stuff like that. And because it was never really mentioned or seen in the classic episodes for all those years. But race changing was, even though both actors were white, one was clearly playing an Asian man, a Tibetan monk. From the Planet of the Spiders with John Pertwee's Doctor. And so there you go. That's a long time ago, and it's pretty firmly established that yes, race changes could happen with Time Lords regenerating. So yeah, so Idris Elba could be one. And so next up, Chris Marshall was the biggest name rumored to replace Capaldi in a list of actors, and a lot of people bet money on it, and were pretty sure that he was the one that got the gig. And then all of a sudden, oh no, it's Jodie. So, and the poor guy online are people bashing, oh, he's a dumb white dude. I'm sick of this. It's backwards and it's racist and it's misogynist and all this sort of whatever. And they just piled on this guy, and no one seems to care about it. They just completely forgot about the treatment that he received online. And he had absolutely nothing to do with it. It was just some dumb rumor somebody put up, all because he had quit the show he was on at the time. And they figured, he's leaving that show so he can be the new Doctor, you know, and that was it, you know, and good Lord, the crap he went through. But nevertheless, he would finally give the Doctor, because, apparently the previous Doctors, Tennant and Matt Smith, had commented, I'm not ginger. I was hoping I'd be ginger. And so finally the Doctor would achieve his redheaded status if Chris Marshall had indeed been the Doctor. But it didn't happen. So anyway, here's a little image I did of him in a little outfit slapped together. And, of course, there's a lurking Dalek again, some flying saucers just for good measure, and the Sea Devils coming to get him, and he's just smiling, doesn't realize what's about to happen. But anyway, there you go. And again, the logo is, well, I don't know. I guess it's all right, but yeah. And then Martin Freeman, who, when I was thinking about a time if they wanted to do a film series and a kind of a reboot type approach to it, and if you had maybe David Bradley playing the first Doctor, or again Charles Dance, someone like that, and then he regenerates, who would fit the mold of Patrick Troughton? And I kind of thought Martin Freeman might be the guy who could pull that off, but it would be a different version, you know, it'd be like an alternate timeline where these sort of things happen. So there's some similarities, but not quite the same. But anyway, there he is in this sort of, I don't know, ragtag hipster outfit. I don't know if that's what he would go for if he were given the opportunity, or if he even wanted it. But the TARDIS background is not mine. I don't know who designed this, but man, I don't know who you are. But if you see this, you know, put it in the comments, and I will give full credit, because you know, maybe the walls and stuff would get a little more work, but man, that console thing where it's connected to the ceiling and there's no real bottom to it, that looks fantastic. I would like to see that in a future Doctor Who TARDIS version of it. Again, the logo of Doctor Who I did here. Again, admittedly, I'm not good on that. But there you go, Martin Freeman as the Doctor. Now, here we go. You say, where's all the women? Well, yeah, okay. Well, one of the popular rumors and suggestions was Olivia Colman. And I did not watch Broadchurch, but a lot of people and other Doctor Who videos and whatnot and fans commented she was the biggest pick that people wanted, and based on that performance and others. And I've seen her in other things, and yes, she's a very accomplished actress. And after seeing season 11, it probably would have been better off if she had been chosen to be the first female Doctor, and probably could have done something a lot better. But here she is in a basic suit here with a gray coat. And of course the TARDIS and the logo again. So apologies. But the other Doctor Who rumor concerning her was that she was approached for the role. In fact, was Chibnall's first choice, but she turned it down. And considering the scripts that were provided for Series 11, she chose wisely. So it's kind of sad, but there you go. But she probably could have knocked it out of the park. But again, with bad scripts, then it would have just been another case like Capaldi, a great actor just wasted. So meanwhile, Richard Iode, I think, I'm not sure if I pronounced his name correct, and I apologize on that, but he was another guy who kept cropping up during all the rumor fest of who would be Capaldi's successor. And boy, he sure does have quite the quirky look, and I think that might work. And so here he is, and I actually kind of like the logo I gave him for his Doctor Who. And so there he is by the TARDIS. He just looks like a natural fit, and so he could, and who knows, he may be in some future version of the series, should it still go on. I'm beginning to be a bit dubious about that, but nevertheless, here he is in a little outfit I put together for him, and he could have been the Doctor, and who knows, like I said, maybe could be in some future time. Now, another frequent name to come up was, of course, Sean Pertwee, the son of the third Doctor, John Pertwee, and of course does resemble his father quite a bit, and even mentioned that, yeah, he would be interested in the role of the Doctor. Now, a lot of fans say, hey, this would be a cool opportunity to do a story in which the Doctor revisits a previous incarnation and regenerates into an old one, that sort of thing. And yeah, I suppose so, but I don't know that I'd want to limit Sean Pertwee to just do his father's act. I think they would be interesting to have some similarities there and that sort of thing. And you would have to acknowledge it because he does resemble his father quite a bit, so that there would be some idea of that, but he would be somewhat different from him. But another thing about John Pertwee's Doctor was that he was often referred to as the James Bond of Doctor Who. And certainly Sean Pertwee could pull that off, because we see him in Gotham, which was a series that started off pretty good, and then but he was pretty good in it, and it also shows he's quite the physical actor, and so he could pull that off with some action for Doctor Who, which most doctors just didn't do that, but certainly John Pertwee did. And that could be revisiting that, but not a complete copy of it. I don't know if I'd want to do that. But so here he is in an outfit I threw together for him that is similar to his father, I suppose, in some ways with the color scheme, but not the same. And of course, there's the Doctor's enemies. And boy, London looks to have been pretty battered here, so he's got a lot of work ahead of him. And again, apologies to who did the background. I don't know. I just looked up post-apocalyptic London, and this is what came up. So, and then of course the Doctor's enemies there, and the logo, which is not too bad, but yeah, again, I don't know what I'm doing there. But there you go, Sean Pertwee, which is something I hoped, or still hope, would be approached and would be fascinating to see. But I don't know, maybe not. But we don't have forever, Doctor Who. We don't have forever. So, and then Simon Pegg. Well, of course, Simon Pegg. And that would be interesting, of course, to say the least. And it would be cool to see what he would do with that, because I'm pretty sure he would have a lot of fun with it, taking it to new heights and what have you. But on the other hand, he's another fantastic performer that would probably get wasted on god-awful scripts, and wouldn't want to see that. No, wouldn't want to see that. But if you got the talent, that would be great to see Simon Pegg as the Doctor. Now here is just a very simplistic outfit, I'm sure. Who knows what they would come up with. But there you go. There's Simon Pegg as Doctor Who. And then finally back with another a female casting of Doctor Who. And of course, one of the names that constantly came up also in the rumor mill following Capaldi was Tilda Swinton. And Tilda Swinton brings up a situation where I thought would be an interesting thing to shake up Doctor Who. With a lot of these people, like Simon Pegg and Martin Freeman and Idris Elba, it's like, oh, how are you going to get them to do this TV series? And I said, well, if they did something to Doctor Who like they do with shows like Fargo, where it's just a one-season deal. So here you would have a Doctor for, 10 to 12 episodes, and then they regenerate at the end. And you could do some time jumps to suggest, oh, there was more adventures we didn't get to see if they later would like to do a big finish series and that sort of thing. But there you would have this top-notch talent, which would be hard to get a commitment to a 3-year deal or something like that. But you could get them portraying the Doctor for those shows. And that's what you could do with a talent like Tilda here and the others that I've mentioned. So here she is in a rather ragged out outfit. But hey, we don't know what happened. It looks like the TARDIS is pretty well battered. And again, I don't know who did this, but what a fascinating look and very intriguing, and just all kind of ideas of narrative comes here. Oh, something terrible has happened, and the Doctor's got to claw his or her way back from whatever happened. But there you go. And, well, the Doctor Who logo again, kind of ghostly looking, but again, apologies for that. But there you go, Tilda Swinton as the Doctor. So, different choices for Doctor Who that could have happened but didn't, and probably never will. Maybe, just maybe, Richard and Sean could get a shot at it, but probably not. But anyway, there you go, a different look at Doctor Who, and also another suggestion of what might have been. What might have been. Because at this point, just about any of it would be leaps and bounds better than what we got, if I may be so bold. Thank you for watching and listening. Say, while you're here, why not like and subscribe? And check out that link description below. That'll take you to my many stores that have plenty of goodies for you.